Greetings, enlightened ones. Thank you for joining your generic store brand Reverend. In today's video, we're going to be going over how my first day went at Purgatory Scream Park. And let me tell you, to kind of run away from myself and be somebody I'm not in terms of my acting, because technically you're playing a character, it's kind of given me a level of fulfillment that I haven't felt in a very long time. As you guys know, oftentimes I'm my own worst enemy, and acting is kind of one of those channels I use to kind of get away from myself. And as you guys know, yesterday was our opening night, which was pretty successful. A lot of the staff were very impressed with the way that we were all acting, and that apparently it was one of our best opening nights that we've ever had, apparently. So, and I'm not gonna lie, even though I was extremely exhausted going through and constantly being in character, I gave my 110% throughout the entire night, even though it was only a couple hours. But that's how committed I am, and I was absolutely drenched in sweat. I wore clothes, these types of clothes over, well, wore these clothes and the costume over them, so you can imagine with Texan heat, humidity, you're absolutely just drenched in sweat as you're acting. The night was generally pretty good. I was, as you guys know, I was playing as a clown, so I worked in the hysteria portion of the part. This character's name is Patient 75, or some other people call him Nitrous, and I think the reason for that is because he wears a gas mask. It's like a clown with really crazy white hair, and he wears a gas mask, essentially. And then if you imagine the outfit is like a straitjacket with polka dots all over it, and then the pants are kind of, I think they're polka dotted too, if I remember right, or they were like yellow and blue striped. But we had a pretty big area that we could mess with, since Hysteria has many sections where you can kind of roam around that scene. That's mainly what I was doing. I was looking around my environment to see and utilize what I could use, and to my surprise, I did find my own prop. There was a light bulb, like a used light bulb from the lighting fixtures that we had up there, and one of the staff probably just threw it on the ground and forgot about it or something. But it was actually cool because I used that to my advantage, because I was like, oh shit, a light bulb, I could probably use this for something. Immediately came to mind. I decided to use that light bulb as like a way to improv.
Oh, don't we have a pretty one here? But did you know? You light up my world.
Shit like that. So it was pretty cool that I was able to kind of come up with some improv things through some of the shit that was around my scene. There was times where I would act like I was just like one of the dummy props, so I would just kind of sit there, not move, next to one of the amusement park rides. And then when a group would come by, since their inhibition's lowered, they think I'm just a prop, I then jump up and then say some random shit, essentially, which usually works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, people are aware that any prop could be, a scare actor. So it doesn't work on everybody, but it generally gets some scares out of people, which is pretty funny. And let me tell you, those areas or those locations where I was sitting on the ground acting like a prop, I can no longer use, because I'm about to tell you what is the most wildest, craziest shit of the night. So I think this was either first or second. So we generally got, there's at least one person that was scared shitless. It was a woman. But what was more wild was that this group of guests, as they're coming out, I don't know what was going on, but this woman, I'm assuming, must have been so scared that she started vomiting. And then as this group of guests is coming into our scene, the woman that began to vomit, I didn't see that she vomited yet, but I targeted her first. And the moment I come up to her, I just see her absolutely just vomiting into the spots where I was actually sitting as a prop. So I can't really use those areas anymore because I'm kind of like grossed out now. But yeah, she started vomiting and I was like, oh my God, she's absolutely scared. She's vomiting all over the scene. And I would just kind of like play into what was happening with what was happening to her, because at the end of the day, you can't really show any remorse to these guests. I mean, they're paying for an experience, right? Hey, look, man, if you weren't looking to get scared and continuously get scared, even though you're vomiting, shitting your pants, pissing your pants, then you probably shouldn't have came to begin with, right? So I have to remain in character at all times and just kind of utilize what's happening in the reactions to the guests to my advantage as a way to improv. And it's funny because I talk about improv, and I really wished I used this from a game, Dead Rising. If you guys have ever played the original Dead Rising and played or fought against the psychopath that's in the supermarket, I should have said I should have said when he dies, he says he gets back up because you think he's the psychopath when you kill him, you think he's dead, and then he gets back up and he's like, "Clean up on register 6."
Clean up! Register 6!
And I wish I had used that to my advantage. It'd be like, "Clean up on register 6. We have one vomiting," or something like to those extent, right? I really wish I had used that because that would have been a really good line to use to make it kind of funny but scary at the same time. And then there was a woman that was absolutely just scared shitless. Like, so we had another scare actor kind of come by and just let us know, hey, these guys are fucking terrified. Like, I want you guys to really give a performance on these guys because they're literally about to break down right now. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So we did have a woman that was just absolutely scared shitless. She literally comes through and I got her pinned into a corner. Her friends were trying to like help her out, but she was just like, I can't fucking do this. I can't do this. And I'm like, oh my god, she is about to crack, bro. So that I utilized and fed off of that, and I was just kind of like contorting my body and moving towards her, all like decrepit and shit. And I got them pinned into a corner, and I started getting really close to her. And then I don't know what the hell I said to her or what I was doing in that moment, but I do remember just creepingly like animating towards her. So it's really funny when you're a scare actor and you feed off of people's fear because then it makes your performance even that much better. Main target number one is going after the person that's just pissing themselves because it just fuels the overall environment that much more for you. And then there was another guy that was kind of scared, but kind of not, but I still kind of fed off of his energy. So there was one guy that was like covering his ears and I, even though he wasn't like being Mr. Macho Man or anything, I just was like,
Oh, what's the matter? Am I cracking your fragile ego?
and I was just basically just trying to get into his ears because he was trying to cover him. So I was really just trying to get into his ears so that way he can hear me. And I said a bunch of other stuff that was just kind of like bringing him down as a dude because he was already scared, right? So it's just to kind of play with him.
Oh, it looks like you're not Mr. Tough Guy after all.
But yeah, the night was, even though we only had like a few guests, it was fucking crazy. Like, seeing the woman vomit was the most wildest shit. It even threw me off for a second, but I still remained in character. I was like, oh, damn, she's fucking vomiting. What in the hell? Like, I don't know how it works inside the actual haunt building because we work outside of the haunt building, but I don't know what goes on in there, but something must have happened in there where she got super fucking scared. But let me tell you, even though we only had so many guests, I try to remain in character as much as I can, and whew, it is extremely taxing. Very, very taxing on your body, on your voice. Right now, I'm a little scratchy from basically giving my all, right, and remaining in that character. So it's very taxing on your body. You really do need to be in shape for something like this heavily because you're going to be moving around a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of crazy, aggressive animating, especially as a clown in any way. I mean, if you work inside the haunt itself, like the building, I work outside, so I have a little bit more freedom to roam around and mess with my environment, which I love doing, but it is very taxing. And for those of you that don't know, I do have scoliosis, and it can be a big hindrance sometimes. My back is absolutely fucked. It is like, it's totally gone. It was funny too because there was a girl there, another scare actress, and she mentioned she had scoliosis last night, and I was like, oh really? I bet you yours isn't as bad as mine. And then I bent over to show her exactly how bad my back is. If I bend over, you'll see that my back is literally like, I'm like the Hunchback of Notre Dame from Disney. Like, my whole back, my right side pushes up when I bend down, so you can really see how fucked my back is. I do need to get surgery. The only issue is that I'm afraid that a couple of things. If I get surgery, I won't be as nimble. And two, the fear of being paralyzed. And then three, you got death. And to tell you the truth, I'm more afraid of being paralyzed than death. Because if I become paralyzed, to be an actor would really hinder me at that point, and to do things for myself, I wouldn't be able to do things for myself anymore. You know, there's going to be a very touchy subject, so I'll tread lightly with what I'm going to say. I mean, I understand that there's people that, you know, are paralyzed from the waist down every day and they continue through life as if nothing happened. But for somebody like me personally, it would absolutely destroy me. I guess as a human being, especially for this career that I want to do, it would just completely destroy my self-esteem. So with that, I'd rather die than actually become paralyzed for the rest of my life. But if it isn't that, if I do get the surgery and it becomes successful, then like I said, I wouldn't be as nimble. So me moving around a lot and doing all these crazy animations, I wouldn't be able to do it as much. So at the end of the day, yes, I get a lot of back pain. It's not a big deal though, because I didn't take my pain medication. Actually, I do have pain medication for my back, and I should have used it that night, and I'm going to be using it tonight because I am going to be attending again tonight. So I'm going to be using my pain medication to kind of help that out a little bit. But it's not like a hindrance to my performance. It's just when I get towards the end of the night, my back is just, it's giving out, which is why I need a heating pad. Heating pads work a lot for somebody that has scoliosis. So I'm going to be investing in a heating pad because mine actually broke a couple months ago. And now that I'm starting to do this, I definitely need to get one ASAP. But yeah, if it's not having disabilities that also hinder you, it's just being out of shape too. Like, oh my Lord. This is going to take a lot of energy from you, like I already made mention. I was getting extremely tired, wore out. I would just kind of, but to remain in character, I would just kind of like put my head on the wall of the house and just kind of like sit there trying to collect myself, being absolutely drenched in sweat because I'm wearing my regular clothes on top of this costume, and it is a very heavy costume. This strength jacket is thick. When I got out of it towards the end of the night, I was drenched in sweat. My hair was, it's like I got out of the shower. My hair was completely just saturated. My clothes felt like a wet Kleenex. Everything was just sticking to me. They had a fan inside the costume room, and when I tried to get in front of it, it was just cold because I was so wet that it just made me just kind of freeze a little bit. So yeah, I was completely drenched, and everybody else was like, "Oh my God, you were just absolutely covered, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, it's because I wore my clothes on top of it, and it's super hot right now." Well, I wouldn't say it's super hot, but it's humid. If you guys ever come to Houston, we have really humid weather here, so that adds to the word is perspirant, self-perspirating. But yeah, it's definitely made me rethink in terms of to get in shape. I probably should have started exercising, running, doing something to stay more active and not just working on cars, because yeah, you're active, but that's more physical active and not really exercise. Then again, I am older than a lot of these kids that are also doing this, so obviously I'm kind of slowing down in my age a bit. Not by a lot, because 30 is still kind of considered young. But I will say my advice is, if you're going to get into haunt acting, is do exercise, because I think it will help out a lot in terms of your stamina, your energy. It may not be required if you work inside of a scene that's pretty small and you don't move around a lot, but for larger scenes where you have to animate, really get the guests going, or you're working the front of the line at the front of the attraction, I would really highly advise that people exercise to really kind of, again, give yourself some extra stamina, energy. It's going to help out a lot. And I didn't do any of that. So that's one thing I will make mention, that after doing this is something I should have done. But yeah, it was a fantastic night. Honestly, like, this is the most fulfilling thing I've probably done in my entire hobby / career. Getting to talk to the other actors, to actresses, and we're just kind of improvising and working together and stuff, and just always remaining in character and talking to each other because we're immersed into this environment. It's fun. It really is fun. I like to be lost and away from society, I guess, and this is kind of like a level of escapism in a way. So it's healing on a lot of levels too, I guess, spiritually. It's literally the whole reason why I'm pursuing acting, is because it's something that I'm super just passionate about, and I love doing this as, well, hopefully one day a full-time career. But yes, everybody, I have to go on and get ready for the night because I'm going to be also attending tonight as well. I may or may not document it tomorrow for Sunday. I'm going to be pretty busy. I'm still selling a lot of the crap that I have in here to put towards my acting career. So I'm still trying to get all that squared away. If there is something that just has to be said, or I manage to get footage or whatever it may be, then do expect a video tomorrow. But maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure yet. I'm hoping somebody does some crazy shit where I have to just talk about it. But yeah, guys, so hopefully you guys like this video. It is definitely pretty crazy, and it's not even October yet. So I look forward to seeing how the rest of the nights play out. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Or maybe I'll see you at Purgatory. Peace out.